Join us for the Shed Sales Summit, September 22nd in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're going to have a fun-filled day, including Steve Robertson, the former CMO of Chick-fil-A. You won't want to miss this event. Tickets are on sale now at ShedSalesSummit.com. We hope to see you there.
For more than 10 years, JMAG has proudly served the shed industry, helping dealers and manufacturers grow through rent-to-own solutions. What makes them different isn't just what they do, it's how they do it. JMAG focuses exclusively on the shed industry. That means every decision that's made, every relationship that's built, and every solution created is designed with shed companies in mind. JMAG offers more than monthly payment options for your customers. They're your pit crew. Whether you need support, guidance, or someone to help you navigate challenges, they're ready to jump in and help you keep your business firing on all cylinders. When you're ready to take your business to the next level, drive with JMAG. Learn more at jmagllc.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Simply Shed Talk Show. And you might see that there's a little bit of a difference here. Andrew is not on screen right now, and I wanted to welcome back. My name is Peter Miller. I am the co-host, and Darvis is here hosting for us. We also have Andrew. I believe he might be in waiting there. I had gotten a text from him right before. Let's see here.
Hey, welcome back. Can you guys hear me?
We can. So
Yes.
Tell everybody where you're at. You know, you always ask this question, Peter, where are you at? So Andrew, where are you at?
Yes, absolutely, guys. Welcome back to the show. But I am coming to you live today from the jungles of Guyana. So we have been in Guyana on a mission trip. We actually took a boat ride, about a 2-hour boat ride up here after the road ends. And we had just actually got to a town or a village, I probably would call it here. Just got off the boat, perfect timing. But happy to come with you and join with you guys live on the Simply Shed Talk show. And I don't know if you announced it yet, Peter, but really quickly, before we get in, you can click that link, just like I just did, to join the stage, ask your questions, or you can comment on any of the platforms, and we will see your comment live. And, just give a shout out for your business or who you are, where you're calling from. But today, I'm calling from, I don't even know what town I'm in, but Guyana. I'm actually super surprised I have service out here. They don't even have cars out here where I'm at, but it seems like I have LTE service. So I'm glad I could jump on today.
Hey, you might have better service than we do back in Sebring. I don't know, but hey, I want to take this time to welcome Darvis. You know, this is the first time Darvis is coming on the Simply Shed Talk, and man, if you weren't there holding down the fort, getting this thing all rolling, we couldn't do this without you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be on. I like to give a big thanks to Peter. He kind of got me through this beforehand, and also give a big shout out to Andrew, man, to be able to make it all the way from the land of Guyana. That shows dedication and commitment right there. I'm new to the shed industry, so obviously there's some nerves with this, but I've got a full support team by my side, and I'm happy to be here and happy to show my face to the world, to the shed industry.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been interesting navigating this per se, with Andrew in the waters of Guyana there behind him, navigating the rivers, navigating Simply Shed Talk, because most of you don't know, but Andrew is very, very instrumental in making all this happen, and we appreciate that. But without further ado, Andrew, what is the craziest thing that's happened so far there? Has anybody gotten almost eaten, or what's going on there? I'm curious.
No, but we are hoping to see a jaguar out here in the jungle. But craziest thing, I don't know, but I do know the driving over here is crazy. Obviously, they drive on the other side of the road, and we've actually been involved in 2 accidents already. This is day 3 and 2 accidents in. So yeah,
Okay.
turning the corners, you're turning the opposite way, and my brother's wife decided to drive around the block, Charity, Peter, and hit a car. And then we were
Wow.
all, giving her a hard time. And then that night, Gary was backing up because he went down the wrong way and backed into a telephone pole. So at least it's all on the same side of the van. So basically the whole side of the van's gone. So at least they only have to replace the one side.
All right.
But no,
well,
it's a great trip. Of course, it's hot out here. If you see me away from my face a lot, it is extremely hot out here. But this is actually my third time to Guyana, and I brought my wife and 3 children this time. It's all their first time. Every year I try to bring a different kid to kind of experience the missions trip, but also the country of Guyana.
okay. I knew a missionary that was there for many years, and he was in Port Kaituma, Guyana. Would fly into Georgetown, I think, or I think that's the
Georgetown's
main,
the capital.
Georgetown's the capital, and then go down either by plane or river to Port Kaituma. So yeah, I've never been there, but maybe one day I'll get a go there. But yeah, so moving on a little bit down here, I wanted to kind of ask Darvis. You've been here with Simple and with all of our ventures here, and kind of want to ask you how things have been going. You've been new to the shed industry, so I'm curious to get your take on it. What do you see from your angle?
Yeah, so it's been I've been in the shed industry for a little bit less than a month now, and I say it's been a smooth transition. It's very, very people oriented. I've visited a lot of lots, whether it's our dealers or even going out there and visiting new dealers. Everyone has been open arms, had great conversations, and it made the transition a lot smoother. So, I find myself a fit in the shed industry. I've worked in the furniture industry for 14 years, 15 years, and I built a lot of relationships there. And I can tell you, with the month that I've been in the shed industry, I was able to build faster relationships than I had in the furniture industry. So obviously there's some hurdles and some nuances that I have to kind of adjust to. But I've been able to adjust to that very well, got full support behind me, and really just meeting the new people out there, new faces, and them welcome me into their home and showing me just absolute respect. I'm grateful for it, and I just can't wait to build more relationships in the role that I'm in.
And I would say that some of the things that I guess I appreciate so much about the industry is the open arms. And I was talking to a manufacturer just yesterday, and he was talking about how in his town where he's at, there is another manufacturer who builds sheds. And he said, if I run out of a bunk of LP siding, instead of waiting a couple of days to get it in, I go over to my competitor. He gives me a bunk of LP siding so I can continue to build what I need to do to keep on doing what I need to do. And where in the world in any other industry is that done? We are really blessed in this industry, and I hope that we can continue that for many, many years to come.
Yeah, there's something special about this industry, and it's very important that we, as in this industry, that we continue to keep that culture and that hospitality of the industry. And that's why, we preach about this a lot, the Shed Sales Summit and the NSRA. I mean, obviously we don't have anything to do with the NSRA as far as like on the board or anything like that, but it's just come out and support it. Come out and show your support for the industry, because as you know, people that have been in the industry, I've been in both. I've been in the shed industry a long time, but also the furniture industry. And I've actually worked alongside of Darvis on the furniture industry for a long time, and always tried to get him to come to our team, and he never would. But he's finally over here, and I was telling him everything about the shed industry, and I think he would agree that a lot of what I said is true, and it's just a different industry. And I think people that are in it their whole life, they don't understand how precious this is and how easily we can lose this. If big industries start coming in, start taking over, and it'll change quickly. But the other thing that Darvis brings is he was, as far as his former role, was helped out a lot with sales, with training. And so we're excited to bring him on to help out and just kind of bring a different aspect to the shed industry. because we've all been selling sheds for a long time for the most part of the people in the industry, and it's just good to have a different perspective of sales and stuff like that. And what was your biggest objection in the furniture industry, Darvis? It doesn't have to pertain to the shed industry, but as your former role, what was the biggest objection, and like how would you overcome those?
Yeah, being in the furniture industry for 15 years, I've heard a lot of objections. We've all grown accustomed to hearing the same objections over and over again. And one of the biggest objections was when it comes to the customer purchasing that warranty. When you're purchasing a warranty, the customer, and it depends on the approach of the sales associate as well too, but it can come off as a little bit of an add-on because it's something after that tangible sale. Your warranty is something that's not tangible. So kind of overcoming that objection is having that conversation with the customer and let them know that they are making an investment. There's really two big investments, whether it's a house or a car. Your furniture could be your third biggest investment. So why not protect that investment with a warranty? One of those things in this saying, you've all heard it before, is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So kind of creating a sales structure to make the customer feel comfortable with their investment and also protecting their investment was really key, where we were able to just skyrocket and sell the extended warranty with the customer. And I think we might have lost Andrew there and got there he is. But that was one of the big objections. That was one of the big pain points in the furniture industry, and kind of, getting through that and making customers feel more comfortable and realize that, it was very important to protect their investment.
So, really quickly. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to jump off here. I'm actually on this little island that we stopped at, and I don't see any of my team members, so I'm gonna go catch up to them. But thank you guys for taking over today. Excited about watching this later when I get back to the hotel. Thanks, guys.
All right, stay safe.
Awesome.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, be safe.
So jumping back into kind of what you're saying there, Darvis, warranty with sheds is most of the manufacturers offer a certain time length of warranty. The providers of the lumber, the siding and things, they may have an extended or a warranty on top of their products. But that's one of the things that maybe if you're listening today, what does your shed lot offer as far as a warranty? Does it just go by what the manufacturer offers? Do you offer an extended warranty for maybe a sale or something like that? That's maybe some of the questions, and that's where bringing some of the thoughts from other industries into the shed industry, maybe that becomes an opportunity, because most sheds nowadays, the way they're built, as long as they're maintained with paint or stain or kept pressure washed or whatever that may be. Right. I was at one the other day. This shed had to have been like 35 years old.
Oh wow.
It was still together. It looked 35 years old, but it was still together. And that's one of those things where I think now the way sheds are built, they're built even better than what they were, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Right. A lot of the times I was watching a little clip of the Shed Geek podcast, and he had, I think it was Sam Fawcett from Bitterroot Sheds is what I was listening to. And it was talking about sheds and ADUs and how they were taking sheds and turning them into the ADUs. And maybe the word shed needed to be taken out because people don't want a connotation with, I'm living in a shed, I'm living in a tiny home. And so, that word tiny home is out there.
Right.
Or, my outdoor structure or things like that. I go back to the barndominium side, and I'm familiar with more of a metal framed barndominium. I know there's a lot of post frame barndominiums and things like that. But when you walk into a building department here in Florida and you say, hey, I want to put a barndominium up, they're like, you want to do what? Go into the bank and you say, hey, I want a loan for my barndominium. They're like, what is that? and they don't know what that term is. It's maybe socially thrown around, or inside the industry, you hear that. You walk in and you say, hey, I have a custom steel home I'm looking to put up. Okay, custom steel home, I get that. Tiny home. Okay, it's still got the word home in it. And I really jumped off a long ways from warranty here, but the way people are building sheds and doing that, it's definitely going to be, something where, what is the next 5 years? What is the next 5 years going to bring?
Right.
So, I feel like there's a lot of companies in the industry that are doing things to help out the industry grow further. There's some visionaries in that, and I'm really excited to have Shed Sales Summit as an opportunity for people in the industry to come together, rub shoulders with one another, and be able to do that. One of our sponsors this year is actually Cardinal Leasing, and definitely wanted to let you guys know that they are going to be at the Shed Sales Summit, and we got a short video here for them.
Cardinal Leasing is your bridge from where you are now to where you want to be. Do you need a mule to move units around the lot? Lease with Cardinal Leasing and lock in predictable monthly overhead. Grow your delivery network by connecting new drivers with Cardinal Leasing for all their mule and trailer needs. We're built on trust, driven by service, and would love to work with you. Check out our website at cardinalleasing.com for all of our new and used options. Cardinal Leasing, ownership made simple.
Just like that, you guys look them up. If you're looking for a mule or a trailer, they can work with all the different opportunities out there, and we're so excited to have them as a sponsor at this year's Shed Sales Summit. And speaking of Shed Sales Summit, I know I've been posting a lot of stuff on there. Sorry guys, I'm spamming you with stuff, but it's less than 30 days away. Andrew's like, stop. I was like, I gotta let everybody know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Steve Robinson just dropped a video out there for you. I'm really excited about him. Owen Fitzpatrick, the guys over at Graceland, Greg French, Brad Dull, those guys are great over there. Tiffany Strong Hutchinson at Heartland, those guys are wonderful. Appreciate them again on the panel. Jason Graber, Gabe Torres at Eagle Carports. Man, these guys have really poured into this, and you are going to get a lot of information for honestly a really low price comparatively, because you guys have the opportunity to gather information. And that's, I mean, when you worked in the furniture industry, how often did you guys have some sort of an event that was poured into you? Just curious, because I mean, I'm over here on the shed side. What about the furniture side? Did they have things like this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we hosted a sales summit, I would say once a year. And we changed the location just so it can be centralized to some of the folks, because we were all spread across the great states of the USA. So we've hosted some in Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina. I believe we did one in Atlanta, Georgia as well too. But it was so exciting to be a part of something. A lot of folks, they always walk away with something new, where they can, put in their tool belt, or they can utilize to have more success for them and their company. And I was able to be a part of one of the sales summits, to get up and, actually do a speaking event. And that was very fun as well too. But it's always a great venue. It's always a great time. And it's like you said earlier, it's good to rub shoulder with some of your peers out there, and just, be a sponge and not a rock, and just soak up everything. And, it was always I wish we did more in the furniture industry. We only did one per year. But anytime we hosted one, it was always a great time, and everyone loved it. And I look forward to this one as well too. I'm excited to see how the shed industry brands the summit.
Well, I can understand the once a year, honestly, as putting it together. There is a lot that goes into it. And this is a cool thing. I've got the opportunity to sit in there and watch it. And honestly, when it's all done and said, and The final light is turned off and everything's, I take this big old deep sigh and I'm like, "Whew, I'm done for this year.
Yeah.
Now on to the next one."
Yeah.
But it is really good because just the opportunities alone. The book Inner Propaganda is a USA Today's bestseller. It just came out. It's a new release. Top book in business psychology. It is doing really well. I'm excited to read it. Every single attendee who comes is going to get that book. And so I know I jump on Shed Sales Summit stuff quite a bit, but other things that are of importance is the National Shed Show coming up in February. nationalshedshow.com. You guys can go on there. You can register to attend. If you are a vendor and you're looking to get a booth or sponsor, you can click on there and definitely get in contact with them. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me personally. I don't know if my number's on one of those little clicks there, but my cell phone number directly is 863-673-7941. You can text me or call me. Also for the Shed Sales Summit side, info@shedsalessummit.com is there. And then I think you have an email there, info@shedsalessummit.com. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We want to be a help to you. I think about sales. I'm going to pivot here just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on right now? I know what barometer do you have to tell what is happening in the sales side across the shed industry? And there's a couple of different things you can look at for that.
Mm-hmm.
One, you look online and you see
Mm-hmm.
what somebody posts, hey, how am I doing? How is it comparatively to everybody else? You can look in the Shed Business Journal. Marty has a list of different things where people have input information in there. But what else can you do? So you kind of got to take a litmus test of what your previous sales were from a year ago to this year. What are you doing to increase those sales? And so I know when somebody posted that, sales weren't the best. From your sales experience, Darvis, if somebody's running in a slump and they're running down, what is your words of wisdom to them to somehow get out of that slump and move on?
Absolutely. I mean, there's never a quick fix, right? Everyone's always looking for the shortcut or the quick fix. And the role that I was in and the position I was in, I've always told my team, my staff, the first thing I've always told them, in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you're at. Meaning that you have to have something to compare to. So if you want to reach a point, you have to know where you're at in order to get to that point. So just being cognizant of the things around you. Are you doing everything you can to bring in the traffic? That's key as well too. I know sometimes it can get lonely out there, and not just in the shed industry and the furniture industry as well too. We've all had peaks and valleys, and we had slow seasons as well too. And I've always asked my staff is, what are you doing to get that door to swing? Are you online? Are you posting? Are you creating ads, or do you have a team to do that for you as well too? The main thing you want to do is you want to get as many opportunities as you can. And then once you get the opportunities, do you feel comfortable with the staff that you have or the folks that you have in order to close the deal or the sale? And I feel like, in my opinion, every lot that I visit, they're very, very knowledgeable, and that's key as well too. Knowledge brings comfort. If you're very knowledgeable, and you always work on your craft, you know what I mean? Always, like I said earlier, you want to be a sponge and not a rock. So the more information you have, the more comfortable you feel when it comes to having that conversation with the customer. But I always believe it starts at, in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you're at.
I agree with you. And I would have a question. People can read books, they can go online, they can listen to all different kind of opportunities about talking about shed sales. But step back just a second and tell me what other books? What other things can they craft to get better? If you know 100% what your product knowledge is on a shed, but how can I say it? You have no personality. What is the next thing that you can help that person to maybe learn how to speak and stuff? What direction do they need to go? Was there any books that you would suggest? Is there any direction that you would have towards that?
Yeah, I mean, books are always a good thing. You know, I've recently got into books as well too. I would say you would have to role play. That was one big thing that we had in the furniture industry is role play. And one of the big proponents to that is you have to be comfortable with failing in practice. And what that means is it's okay to role play with your peers and fail in practice. You would rather fail in practice rather than to fail in a game. So I think it's and it might be awkward at first, but I think practicing your craft, role playing with your staff, getting comfortable is a big key. And that's one of the big initiatives that we did in the furniture industry is role playing with our peers. And you guys can always feed off of each other and give each other pointers and, hey, this worked for me or this did not work for me. But I think just something as simple as that, role playing, we call it practice in in the furniture industry, but practicing role playing with your peers is a big start.
So one of the things that you may have noticed here and I've seen across the shed industry is there's a lot of times where it's just one person in a lot. And so they're going to, the question's going to be like, well, how am I going to role play? How am I going to role play? So there's a couple of different ways you could role play. You can use the technology that we have in, I know, ChatGPT will actually role play with you.
Yep.
If you go on ChatGPT and you say, hey, I want you to role play with me. I want you to be a difficult customer. And I want to be able to do, X, Y, Z. It will go back and forth, and then it will grade you at the end of it, whether or not you sold them the product or not. The other thing is, if you have a friend, call them up on the phone and find out a time. If they're selling sheds or they're working during the day, we'll find some time to be able to sharpen those sales skills. Elsewise, role play with them over the phone if you need to. Just phone sales. How many? I'm about to jump on another topic here, but how many times have you had a customer call and they don't want to come into the store right now, and you're trying to get them into the store? I have a story from earlier this week. I walked into my local Office Depot, and I was getting some paper for one of our shed lots. And the gal behind the desk said, oh, where's this going? What's it under? I said, it's under this shed lot. And she said, that shed lot? I was like, yeah, it's that shed lot. And she's like, oh, I had a bad experience there. Now, I don't want to say, that we're doing horrible, but we're human. We did. Right. And I said, you had a bad experience. Tell me about it. I want to know, like, what happened? And she went on to say that the sales associate, she called them. She said, hey, I'm looking at this shed on your website. And the sales associate was so dogmatic about getting her to come into the office to look at the shed in person that she said, fine, I'm not going to do it. And according to this person, they said, well, fine, I'm not going to come in. And the sales associate said, fine, that's good. And hung up on the phone. And I'm like, wow. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Yeah. Well, just to let you know, this was a former employee. Yeah. Now, but that is not how you handle that. If the person wants the information, is looking at it online, in today's way of looking at and buying products, you can sell right over the phone. They don't have to come in and put their hands on it. They don't have to do anything like that. They can buy online. And so when you're talking to your friend and you're role playing over the phone, role play that way, get them to buy the shed over the phone. Maybe your friend needs a shed in their backyard and they'll go up and go ahead and buy it.
Absolutely. And I like to Miss Linda Phillips there on Facebook. She posted a comment. I like to show her comment. She said practice is key. So shout out to Miss Linda there. Thanks for there she is there. Sorry, I put the wrong one. Practice is key there. So shout out to Miss Phillips there. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate everybody who's been on here. I know we try to keep it right at 30 minutes, and I think we're going over just a tad. But in parting, we hope to see you all in Knoxville, September 22nd. If you are in the rent to own at all or in leadership in a shed lot and you're thinking about rent to own, come a day early, September 21st. TheNSRA.com is going to have the NSRA annual conference there at the Makers Exchange. Now, I had a person ask me the other day, well, where is it going to be? It's going to be in the Marriott Hotel. If you go in the Marriott Hotel, walk to the back, and then there's some stairs that go down to a huge area where we're going to have this event. Come be a part of it. Get your tickets now. I think today is the last day for anybody who is looking to sponsor the NSRA for their book that they give out during the conference. So if you're looking to do that, reach out to Kyle Summers over there at the NSRA. And if you have any questions about the Shed Sales Summit, reach out to myself, info@shedsalessummit.com, and my cell phone number 863-673-7941. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week live here from the Shed Industry. And Darvis, final words of if you have to close us out, and I want to say thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. I hope my my first time on the platform went well. I hope the Shed Industry enjoyed the content that we brought to them today. And, you know, I look forward to bringing more content here in the future. And all I got to say is happy selling out there, everybody.
All right. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Awesome.